everyone, welcome to the Cozy Soul Knitting Podcast. My name is Saoirse, and in this podcast we're obviously talking about knitting. I'm going to go through some things that I finished up in the last few weeks and also talk about what's currently on my needles and of course future plans. If you are new here, hello, welcome. If you're returning to my channel, thank you for coming back. I appreciate you. And this is episode 6, I believe. And I already actually started filming it and I could tell my viewfinder was doing something funky. Like in the viewfinder I was lagging like my hand movements and stuff, and then the camera just froze altogether. So I'm not sure what happened. So thankfully I caught it as it was happening, so I wasn't like continuing to film when it wasn't recording, but I had to kind of reset my camera and all that and start over because it did not save the clip. So I'm a little nervous that it's gonna happen again. So hopefully it won't. It's happened once before, like months ago, and it hasn't happened since, so I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the camera, I don't know if it's something wrong with the battery, I don't know if it's overheating, I don't know. So we're just gonna keep our fingers crossed that it doesn't happen again. But now I'm kind of flustered and I'm like, what did I just talk about? But I think, oh yes, that's what I wanted to mention in the intro, was that I didn't mean to go this long without doing a podcast episode. Things just kind of got away from me. At first, I was putting it off because I felt like I didn't have enough progress on anything to make an exciting update. And I know that might sound kind of silly, but I just felt like it would be me talking about the same projects that I was talking about in a previous episode, because I hadn't had much time for knitting, and also the projects that I was working on were quite big, so I just felt like it would have been very repetitive. So I kept pushing it off, and then I think I just kind of got busy and I just kind of kept forgetting to do it. I was supposed to do it last weekend, and I honestly am still, I don't really remember why I did not film that. I think I just kind of ran out of time during the day and just kind of was like, oh, I'll just do it during the week, and then I didn't do it during the week because I was busy. So here we are. Anyways, let's go ahead and chat about what I'm wearing, which is our first finished object for the episode. This is the Naima pullover. The designer is, oh my gosh, I feel like I should have written down notes. I think it's Angstrik. I don't know how to pronounce it, and I feel like I shouldn't try because I'm just gonna mess it up. But it'll of course be on the screen. And yeah, this is the finished product. So I finished this maybe a couple weeks ago, but it took me forever to block, and then it took me forever to weave in all the ends. No wait, sorry, I said that backwards. It took me forever to weave in all the ends, and it took me forever to block it. Then it also took forever to dry because I didn't squeeze out enough water after I blocked it, and then I kind of laid it out and then was like, why is this not drying? And then I realized, I was like, oh, I didn't really like squeeze out all the water. And I saw other people, it was weird. It was kind of synchronous. Like I kept seeing videos, like vlogs, where people happened to be blocking sweaters in them, and then I saw like the way that they were doing it, and I was like, ooh, yeah, no way, I did not squeeze out enough water like at all, so no wonder it's not drying. But it finally dried, and then I took forever to cut the ends. So I actually just did that today because I wanted to wear this because today was the first time in like a week where it's been kind of cold. Like the last few days have been pretty warm for like a spring day in the Seattle area, so I really wasn't needing, you know, a sweatshirt or anything. And then today I was like, ooh, I'm getting kind of chilly, and so I put on a sweatshirt, but then I was like, ooh, I should wear this instead, so I like switched. And yeah, so this is my Naima pullover. I'm gonna kind of give you like a close-up, I guess. Sorry, this is kind of awkward, but it's got this like whatever, this neck that I don't know if it's a mock turtleneck or what. I'm not good with terms yet, I'm still learning, but this neck kind of doesn't come up fully. So I don't know, if someone was like, yeah, that's a mock turtleneck, I'd be like, cool, I get that. And then it's got these lace eyelets that go all the way down, and then of course there's some ribbing on the bottom and on the sleeves. The sleeve length, I made sure that I could kind of put my hands in my sleeves, so it's a really good length. And you can see my tie-dye shirt underneath. So not a style choice to have a tie-dye shirt underneath, but it's just because I was kind of cold. So I honestly, after wearing this today, I do feel like I could probably wear this on its own. Like if I didn't want to wear anything underneath it, I think I could get away with it. I still am not sure how sensitive I am to wool because I've never really, before I started knitting garments, I've never really worn anything wool, so I don't know how sensitive I am, and I do have sensitive skin, so I could see myself getting irritated by it. It's like a little irritating on my neck, but not bad. I feel like the neck is probably more sensitive, so I'm like, you know, I could probably get away with this. I think this design, depending on your sensitivity levels, I feel like you really don't necessarily need to wear anything underneath it because of the way that eyelets are. They're not in any place that would be like too scandalous or anything, so I feel like you could get away with wearing just like a bra or nothing, or whatever type of cami you would want underneath it, or like a, you know, long sleeve, like a tighter long sleeve shirt or something like that. So I feel like this would really be whatever, you know, whoever is wearing it could just be like, yeah, I want to wear it without something, or I do want something underneath it, depending on the positive ease that you make it with. So I just feel like there's a lot of different ways that you could wear this and that it could be used for. By the way, before I forget, the yarn that I used is Malabrigo Rios. It's in the colorway Reflecting Pool. And yeah, I really like how it came out. This is my third ever sweater, so you know, I'm still learning. I definitely made some mistakes on it. There's a few places where there should be an eyelet and there aren't because I somehow skipped it, but it worked out fine. I feel like you can't really tell, so yeah, it's nice. It feels really good. I feel like working with this yarn, it was like, I don't know, it was such a treat. Like, it was so like squishy and just nice. I really like this yarn. The only thing is I feel like I can tell like it's already pilling a little bit. Like, it's a very soft yarn, and like I can already tell the sleeves are kind of pilling a little bit, like things are kind of fuzzing up, if that makes sense. And yeah, I can definitely tell it's gonna pill a lot, but like I said, it's a soft yarn, and I've heard that about this yarn, so I'm not like mad about it or anything, and like I think it's fine. I think it'll be fine. And if it gets a little fuzzy, that's okay. But yeah, so that's the first finished object. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to say about it. Yeah, I really enjoyed this. It was a fun, overall it was a fun pattern to do. I think when trying to get like towards the bottom of this sweater, like the body, I was getting a little tired of the eyelets and wanting to just like wishing I was like, oh, can I just do stockinette in the round? But then when you get to the sleeves, that's all you're doing, so it kind of works out, especially if you do the body first, get that done, and then you can move on to the sleeves, and then it's just stockinette and ribbing. But overall, really fun, and my first time doing like the kind of eyelet details for a sweater, which I've never done before. Let's move on to my next finished object, and I'm actually gonna take off my rings because I'm nervous that I'm gonna snag them. And I cannot snag this because it is a gift knit, and I am like, I'm being so gentle with it because I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't want to mess it up, but it's done. This is the Prism blanket. I'm gonna try to hold it up, but there's some of it. It's pretty big. Let me see if I can kind of. So this is the Prism blanket. This is a Purl Soho pattern. I will of course put the details on the screen, including the pattern designer names, because I can't remember them off the top of my head. But this blanket, Oh my gosh, so I did the throw size of this, and it is knit in the Purl Soho good wool. So they had a bundle available on their site. At one point I saw that it had disappeared from the site, and then I don't know if they brought this back or if they were kind of switching up the bundle colors for like the seasonal changes. I don't know. But the bundle that I bought was called Candlelight, in case you're wondering. I don't know the individual names. Like I know this one right here is Purple Pansy, I'm pretty sure. And then this light yellow is Lemon Meringue, but the other ones I would have to guess at. I forget what they're called. So all in all, it's using 5 different colors, 2 main colors and 3 contrast colors. And it was such a fun pattern. Like yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. They were running a cowl that started, I think it started in March and went till April 30th. Or maybe it started in February, I don't remember. But it ended at April 30th, and I did not finish it in time technically, but like who cares, you know? But I did finish it, is it like 2 days ago? I filmed a little vlog of me finishing it, which I don't know if it'll go up before this or after. But if you are wanting to maybe see me finish this off, you can watch that vlog. But yeah, so it's done. This is a gift knit for my dad, and I'm really excited to give it to him. Obviously, I still have to I have to weave in all of the ends and block it. And I think there's a specific way you're supposed to weave in the ends to kind of close up some of the holes. There are holes at the corners of each of the squares, and you're supposed to be able to like weave the ends in to kind of close those gaps a little bit. So I know that they had posted kind of a how-to that they did during one of their like Zoom Cowl events, knit-along events that they had done, like that Purl Soho had done, and it is on their YouTube channel. So I'm going to watch that and see if they show you how to weave them in, and hopefully it won't be too much trouble. It might be a little tedious, but hopefully it won't be hard or anything, and then I'll get all the ends woven in, get this blocked, and be able to give it to my dad. So it's for his birthday, which was May 1st, so that's already passed, but I mean, sometimes things take time. Good things take time, you know? It's definitely, I feel personally, a present worth waiting for. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this down now. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I need to say about it. I mean, other than the fact that I would do it again, I would knit this again. I kind of want to knit one for myself. I'm like kind of slightly upset that I have to give that one to my dad. Like I want to give it to him, obviously, but I really want one for myself too. But I have like there's other blankets that I want to knit too, so I'm kind of like at some point maybe I'll knit one for myself. But I don't know if I would ever gift knit a blanket again. It wasn't stressful exactly, but I found myself kind of wanting to get it done, and you know, to not like, I mean, it wasn't exactly stressful, but it was kind of stressful, if you get what I'm saying. So I wanted to get it done, and I found myself kind of like not enjoying the last few sections of it, and I feel like if I wasn't gift knitting, I would have enjoyed the whole process. I mean, I did enjoy the, I'm being a little too, I don't know. I really enjoyed knitting this overall. I think it was just, you know, when you're doing the same thing over and over again for a larger project, it can kind of get a little repetitive, and then you're like, okay, I am ready to move on to something else. Even though I love this project, like I'm ready to move on to something else. So I think I definitely wouldn't start this blanket again anytime soon, but at some point in the future I would love to knit myself one again. Probably in the winter time or like in the fall time when you can kind of use it as a blanket. I feel like trying to knit a blanket in the summertime would be, because once it gets big enough you would just be probably baking underneath it. So yeah, it'll be a while before I start another blanket, I think. And I kind of want to do a scrappy blanket. Yeah, Like, I'm already thinking about scrappy blankets. Also, I am realizing for these FOs, I totally forgot. So I have 2 of these left, plus like maybe a third or a half of like the other of the last skein that I was using. So I have like a good amount of yarn left over. So I was thinking probably a hat. So that's something I'm gonna need to look into, is like a worsted weight hat pattern. If you know of any, let me know. If you have like a favorite for worsted weight, I would love to hear what it is. But yeah, so I have like two plus skeins or hanks of this left from this sweater. And I don't know if at this point, I don't know if I overbought yarn. I know I tend to always buy 1 extra skein than I think I'm gonna need. But I ended up with a lot extra. So I'm not really sure what happened there. I know my gauge was off, so I went a size up to make sure it would fit me. But I think maybe my gauge was off enough that I ended up, like, maybe I should have gone 2 sizes up. So I don't know. I'm not the best with math, so it's not surprising that I bought the wrong amount of yarn. And then with this guy here, I think for one of the contrast colors, I have a full skein left over plus a little tiny extra. But then all the rest of the colors, I only have, a little less than a full skein for. So those will probably be used for some scrappy projects. So I'm kind of excited to like figure out like what I'm gonna use those for. And I would love to hear like, what do you do with your leftover skeins? Like, do you use them for scrappy projects? Do you try to find like tinier projects to do? What do you do? Let me know. And yeah, those are the finished objects. I'm gonna kind of put kind of a random guy in here first, not like I don't know why I said random guy, like a random object. I did not make this, but I kind of wanted to show it off because it's super cute. So my mom is a crocheter. She also sews too and like quilts. I do know how to crochet. I wouldn't say I'm good at it, and I don't particularly find it that enjoyable. Like, if I'm gonna sit down and crochet something, like, I'd rather be knitting, to be completely honest. So if there's a project that I really, really want, I might make it for myself. But other than that, I don't really crochet. But my mom loves crocheting, and she made this. Oh, I just hit myself in the face with the tassel, or not the drawstring. But she crocheted this. It's a little project bag. I thought, it could fit like I don't know, like a smaller project, maybe like a sock project or something. I feel like you kind of stick it in here, and it's got this little drawstring here. So I thought that was really cute, and I really love the yarn. So the yarn we actually got at, it's the Nifty Knitter, was the yarn store that we got this at it's in Issaquah if you live in the Seattle-ish, greater Seattle area, or specifically on the east side. But yeah, so I don't know what the yarn was, I don't remember, but that's where we bought it from. And I remember when we were in the store and she was looking at this, I was like, I wonder if I'm going to be able to steal whatever she makes with it, because it's really pretty. So she did have enough yarn left over to make herself something too, but once I saw this, I was kind of like, that's coming home with me. Oh, I'm sorry. So thank you, Mom. Although I think I told my mom that she's not allowed to watch my podcast because she's probably like one of the only people that I'm usually going to be gift knitting for, and I don't want her to ruin the surprise. So is that weird? Anyways. So I'm excited, I got a new project bag. Okay, so that brings us now to whips, and if you hear my dog snoring, you're welcome that you get to listen to such a angelic sound. But she is here in the room with me, and she's snoring. It's so cute. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. Alright, let's get into whips. The first one, I'm not like super into this project. I feel really bad. I don't know why I feel bad, because it's like, you know, it doesn't affect anyone but me. I'm just not really loving it. It's just because it's taking so long and I feel like I make zero progress on it. So let me untangle it first, because that's, I feel like, another issue is like every time I put it in the project bag, it just gets itself all tangled up. Alright, so it might still be a little tangled, but this is my first whip that I have to talk about. This was in my last episode, so I won't talk about it too much, but this is the Eyelet Cowl, which is a Purl Soho pattern, and I am using the Purl Soho spindle yarn. I don't remember what shade this is, but it's right here, so I'll just look. This is Golden Meadow. So, and see, this is the thing. I still have all of this left, and it calls for 2 of these hanks. So, like, and 2 more, because you also do another section with this color, and this also, you know, you buy 2. So, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while. I think I already talked about this though, so I don't want to be like super repetitive. If you didn't watch my last podcast episode, you can go back and watch it, but I messed up when I first started it, and I had gotten approximately this far before I realized that I had twisted it before I joined in the round. So that was really frustrating, obviously, and demotivating. And there are, I believe, 480 stitches on these needles. That's a pain to cast on, and yeah. So I got back to where I had previously been when I noticed I had made that mistake. But after that, I feel like I kind of lost steam on this project, and then I was focusing in on this and then the blanket, so this has just been languishing. It might continue to languish for a while. I'm a little like, you know, like I don't want to frog it. I want to finish it. I want the finished product. It's just gonna take so long, and I know that it's gonna take so long, so I'm just not motivated to work on it. And it's also because the stitches are so small, it's hard to knit and not like stare at it. Like I feel like I have to stare at what I'm doing, whereas like with bigger yarn I can kind of feel the stitches, so like I don't have to, like I can look up and watch a show and then look, you know, kind of periodically look down at what I'm doing, and like with this it's just harder to do that, so I feel like it limits how often I can work on this, if that makes sense. So anyways, that's this project. I'm looking for my project bag, and one day it'll be finished and it'll be gorgeous and I'll be so happy that I made it, but today is not the day. So just gonna be languishing for a little bit. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. We can check in on it periodically during these podcasts and see if I made any progress, and if I didn't, you know, it's okay. Okay, so let's move on to the next whip. So I casted this on, I think when did I cast this on? I don't remember. I casted this on April 9th. Oh my gosh, and we're already into May. I haven't podcasted in a while. Wow. Sorry. Anyways, so I decided that I wanted to do something with my leftover yarn from the Lento that I made. So I was using the linen quill from Purl Soho held with their Tussock yarn. And the linen quill was in the colorway Blue Blue, and the Tussock yarn colorway was Lapis Lazuli, I'm pretty sure. And I casted on a classic ribbed hat, which is another Purl Soho pattern. I promise they're not the only patterns I do. Obviously, I mean, I did do the Naima pullover, which not all of my patterns that I do are Purl Soho, but a lot of them are because they're free, so it's kind of nice. But I have no issue paying for patterns either. But yeah, so this is the hat. What is there to say about this? I feel like everyone probably already knows this hat. It's a classic ribbed hat. Literally the name says it all. It's just a 1x1 rib pattern. I think I'm knitting the medium size if I recall correctly. It's nice. It's so cute. I'm excited to be able to to wear this. It's working out really quickly. I know I said I started on April 9th, but I just did like an inch, and then I completely stopped working on it because I was focusing on the blankets. But once I finished that blanket, that's where I got the majority of this done. So I think this will definitely be a finished object by the next podcast episode. I'm gonna hopefully finish it this weekend. But my next whip is like the most exciting thing ever, so I might not touch this. We'll see. But I kind of think it might be nice to take a break and work on this every once in a while. But also this project bag, the one that I have my Purl Soho hat in, this is like one of the prettiest bags that I own. And I just wanted to, I'm going to link the Etsy shop down below in case you don't need another project bag. You don't need one. But if you were in the market for one, I'm not trying to make you guys break any low buys or no buys or anything. So like if you were wanting a new project bag, I found this Etsy shop, and it's actually owned by a woman in Ukraine, and so if you do buy from her, you're kind of like supporting a good cause, and that's why I decided, I was like, I know I don't need it, but I'm just gonna go ahead and get it, because it's like, at least I'm like, you know, supporting like a small business from the Ukraine by buying this bag, and it's so cute. And they have other colors too. So yeah, but it's really, really cute. And it's like the perfect size for a little project bag, so I'm really happy with it. And yeah, I will leave the link down below. If I forget, let me know. So my next whip, I'm so excited. I can't believe I'm saying this. Like, I'm so happy that this pattern is out in the world. I feel, okay, I don't think I was actually waiting for it for that long, but it felt like an eternity for this pattern to come out. And if I wasn't working on that gift knit blanket for my dad, I feel like I would have finished this by now because I want it so badly. I've been dreaming of this garment ever since I saw it. So I am working on the Lanark sweater by Crea by Rebecca Clow from the Crea Knitting Podcast, and oh my goodness, I'm like speechless. It's just, I am obsessed with this texture. The half fisherman's rib, the half brioche, you know, just both of them, both sides look so beautiful. And they're so squishy, and I'm just, ever since I saw her like show it on her podcast, I knew instantly, I'm like, I'm going to make that someday, and I'm gonna love it, and I'm gonna be obsessed with it. And it's just, the longer I had to wait for it, like, the more obsessed I got with it. I want one in every color. And now that I've knitted it up, anything that has the word brioche in it for knitting, I feel like I'm immediately like, yes, I want to do that pattern. Like, I see brioche and I'm like, sign me up. I don't even know what the difference between half brioche and brioche are, but I don't care. I want to learn both. Well, I mean, I already know how to do one. I want to learn how to do full brioche or whatever. And it's just the most amazing texture. I feel like I'm a very tactile person. Like, textures like these make me so happy. And I feel like, you know, it's really the little things in life, like squishy fabrics and coffee, and you know what I'm talking about. Like, this just makes my day, just being able to squish it. I just love it. So yeah, I'm so obsessed. I'm really so happy that I'm finally able to focus in on knitting this. I actually did all of this in the last 2 days because I had maybe half of this knitted up as soon as I got the yarn for this pattern, and then I started working on it yesterday and I realized I had messed up. So I don't know, it's a paid pattern, so like I don't want to talk about it too much, but essentially I was holding my yarn in the wrong position every once in a while when I was starting rows, and so you could really just tell, like the edges of this were just so weird. Like I can't even describe it. It's like one of those things where you can just tell, you're like, that's a mistake, that's a mistake, that's a mistake. Like you can just tell it's not supposed to be like that. And so I had to look up a tutorial to figure out what I was doing wrong, and I finally figured it out, and then once I did that, I ripped everything back and started over. But yeah, this, I feel like I gotta get up close and show you that texture. Do you guys see that? It's like, oh my goodness. I'm obsessed, and it's just, oh, it's so squishy. Like look at what like a thick fabric it makes. Whew. I've got fiber all over my face. I feel like I could just like, it's itchy right here. Oh my goodness though. I'm just like imagining this just all bundled up, and it's just, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So so yeah, this is the Lanark. Did I say that already? Yeah. And oh, I didn't talk about the yarn. So the yarn that I used for this, so when I got the pattern, I kind of looked through my stash to see what I could use, and let me grab it. I had some of this Purl Soho knitting yarn. I don't know why they call it knitting yarn. I just feel like it's so funny because I'm just imagining someone like being like, I'm gonna crochet with this, like being a rebel. Anyways, this is in the colorway Lark Brown, and I found this in my stash. I couldn't remember. I think I just bought it because it was on sale one time when I was shopping from Purl Soho, so I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna throw it in the bag. And I saw this and I was like, that would be perfect because Rebecca made a brown Lanark, and I knew that I definitely would want a brown one among all the other colors. And so I was like, cool, I'm gonna use this. But then I saw that I didn't have enough skeins of this to make the size that I wanted, so then I just happened to look on Purl Soho that day, and they were having a sale on very select few yarns, and there were 2 colors of this knitting yarn that were for sale, and it just so happened that Lark Brown was one of the colors. So I went ahead and bought, I think, 3 more skeins. Probably not the same lot, but like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to tell the difference, so I don't really care. But yeah, so I think I have like 9 or 10 of these. I can't remember. This is gonna be my focus for the weekend. I'm gonna see how far I get. Probably vlog that if you're curious. If you're working on it too, and maybe we'll knit it together. But yeah, so I'm trying to think, is there anything else to say about this? I don't know. I don't think so. So anyways, I'm gonna put this away, and then we can talk about future plans, because that was what future plans and some acquisitions. One thing that I wanted to start thinking about is obviously spring and summer knits, because this is not going to cut it as we get into the slightly warmer weather, and so I need to make some spring and summer knits. I've been watching every time any video that's like recommending patterns for spring and summer knits, like anytime like my top 10 spring knits or whatever. But anytime one of those anytime one of those videos comes up, like anywhere on YouTube, I'm like, yep, I'm gonna watch that, because I'm just trying to get a sense of like what types of tops I might want to knit. And I don't really have a set one that I want to do. So I'm like, I don't know, like, but Rebecca, again from Crave Knitting Podcast, her newest pattern, the Tolsta tee, is coming out. I'm filming this, by the way, I am filming this on May 5th. So it's coming out, I think she said May 12th. I just saw on Instagram today, I think, that that was the launch date. And there's supposed to be a cowl, a knit along, so that would be so fun to do that, because I had a lot of fun doing the linto, just because, like, you know, knowing that other people are, you know, working on it too made me feel like just more, I don't know, more determined to try something new. And yeah, I really want to. I already have an idea for the Tolsta tee, like, because she created the pattern so it's like very easily modified, and I already know which modifications I want to do. I want to do like an eyelet one, but like I want to avoid the area around my boobs so that I don't have to wear anything underneath it necessarily other than like a bra, but it would be like rows of eyelets until you get to like the boobs, and then they would resume underneath the bust and keep going. That's the idea that I have. And I'm just really excited about it, and I think I already know what yarn I want to use, but I don't know. I know she said she's coming out with a fingering weight version of it, but I don't know I don't know if it's DK weight or what, and so I have some yarn in mind that I want to buy, but I don't know if it's going to be the right yarn, because I don't actually remember what weight it is. So, but I have that in mind, so that's a future plan that is probably going to happen. And then obviously I need more than one tee, so I feel like I can make a few different Tolsta tees. So I want to probably make a few of those. But obviously I want to be able to knit some other tops as well, and I just don't know, I just haven't settled yet on like which ones. So I'm definitely going to be keeping my my eyes open, looking out for some patterns, and I think at some point I just need to like decide on some and just go for them. I know the poppy tee, I think from Petite Knit, launched recently, so I feel like I could do that. I think I should probably knit the Cumulus blouse, because I feel like most people that I watch have knit that, and people seem to really like that, so I feel like I gotta do that. And yeah, so yeah, I need to make some tees. I also saw that there's that bralette from, I think it's Maria. Is it Maria? And it's Olin Knitwear. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but she came out with a bralette, and I'm like, I don't know, because bralettes tend to not support my boobs enough, but it also just looks so cool, and I kind of would love to like try that out, and it could be a really cute little project, so I kind of want to do that, but I haven't really looked into the pattern yet. I haven't bought the pattern yet. Haven't looked at it at all. I've just seen it on Instagram and been like, yes, I would like to knit that. And then today, this is why I end up knitting so many Purl Soho things, is because they have, like, you know, I'm on their email list, and they email things out, and they're like, hey, this pattern, the yarn for this pattern's on sale, like, don't you want to buy it? And I'm like, yes, I do. So, I literally just saw this today. I don't know if the email came out today, but I saw it today. And they're doing another, nope, that's the wrong email. They're doing another cowl, another knit along, and it's like, it's so cute. So they're like these dumpling bags. I don't know if holding this up I'll put it on the screen. But the dumpling bags, they look so cute. Like, I'm obsessed. they look so cute. At first I was kind of like, what? But then like when you see them like folded over, they do look like little dumplings, and I'm like, I need this. And the the color selection palette that they are showing in the picture is just like, I love neutrals like that. I love color, but I also love neutrals. I love like all colors, honestly. And they're doing another knit along, and it's 20% off the yarn. So, I mean, if there's ever a time, you know, to get some yarn, it's when it's on sale. Am I right? Okay, anyways, so those are the projects I don't have yarn for, that I kind of have, you know, my radar on. I'm eyeing them. But the projects I do have yarn for, let's talk about those real quick. I'll show you the yarn, and then I have a couple of other acquisitions that I don't know what I'm doing with yet. So actually, let me go ahead and talk about those first. So I was at Joann's with my mom, and I bought a zipper for my Lanark there. I'm still debating if I'm gonna try and get a fancier zipper, because this is a really basic zipper, and I'm kind of like, you know what? Maybe my Lanark deserves better. Like, she's a queen. She's so amazing. I feel like she deserves a fancier zipper. So I might buy another one. We'll see. But while I was there, I was just looking at their yarn, and I wasn't going to get any of their yarn because they don't really have wool there. They have Lion brand Wool Ease, which if you've been here from the beginning, you know that I do not like it. It does not feel nice. I don't like. I knitted the Petite Knit Novice sweater in Lion brand Wool Ease, and I did it because it was cheap and I didn't want to spend a lot of yarn or a lot of money on yarn for my first sweater, knowing that it might not turn out the best. And yeah, but I did not like the quality of that yarn. It just did not feel good. It wasn't really fun to work with either, but there was a yarn sale going on at Joann's, and they had, I saw this there and I was just intrigued. So Lion brand has this like line that is like their sustainable stitching line, I guess, and I found this respun 100% recycled polyester yarn. This one is the colorway Parchment, and then this is the colorway Blush. Yeah, and then yeah, they're pretty soft. This one's really soft. This one isn't as soft, but they're both kind of soft. But this is made of recycled plastic. So I was just like, that's kind of cool. Like, that's kind of cool that, I don't know, it's just so eco-friendly, and it just made me kind of happy. And I was like, I can knit some things out of this and then be like, you know, I saved plastic from being, you know, out there polluting the environment. So I don't know. Is it greenwashing or gimmicky? I don't know. I probably need to educate myself more on it, but it seemed like a cool product, and I just wanted to, and they're so big. I just wanted to try them out. I have no idea what to make with these. I don't even know what weight this yarn is. Oh, it's medium. It's not really look. Yeah, it is. So it's worsted. It's worsted weight, I think. Or yeah, I think it's worsted weight. I don't know if it's enough to knit a sweater with, but I don't know. I can always get another one or two, but they were on sale, and I was like, that just seems like a cool idea. So I bought them. Okay, so now on to the two patterns that I'm planning on starting soon that I do already have yarn for. So the first one is another Lento. So I have like all of the yarn here. I bought some yarn from Knit Picks. So the first, we have the Fingering Weight, their palette yarn. I bought the Oregon Coast Heather shade for this. So I just want to show you up close. It's kind of multicolored. It's got some grays, got some kind of blue running through it, some yellow as well. And then this is the Mohair. Not focusing anymore. Yeah, so this is the Mohair. So the Mohair is their Aloft Mohair, and this is the colorway Oat. So I got these because I was kind of going through a little bit of a panic, if you will, because my first Lento didn't really come out the way that I wanted it to. My novice sweater, probably not gonna wear it a ton. So at that time I hadn't finished this sweater, which I feel like I'm gonna get a lot of use out of. I feel like it's very comfortable, it fits well, it looks nice. At least in my opinion. But at the time I hadn't finished this, did not know how it was going to turn out. I was kind of freaking out because I was like, man, I'm going to spend a lot of money on this yarn for things I am not going to probably end up wearing all that much. So I kind of decided, I was like, we're going to do another Lento and see if we can't fix some of the things that made it, you know, not really work out for me. The first of which was that I think someone had pointed out in, I think it was my last podcast, that there is an issue with one version of the pattern where the short rows, there's something wrong in the directions for the short rows, and that they have the corrected version on the website. So I had bought mine off Ravelry, and I don't know if that's the updated one or not. So I'm gonna have to do some digging to see. But if you guys remember my last podcast episode, it kept moving. It kind of kept moving back. I had to kind of keep tugging it forward. I didn't like the way it was sitting on me. I didn't like the neckline and how it had kind of stretched after blocking. And so there's just a lot of things I didn't really like about it. And I was kind of bummed because that yarn was pricier than, you know, what I probably would have normally. I mean, I did get it on sale. I did get it on sale, but it was still pricey because of Purl Soho. And Purl Soho isn't terribly expensive, but it's not exactly cheap either, you know? And so, you know, I was just a little bummed out. And I had a lot of fun knitting it, but I also was definitely wanting to have a nice finished object. And to be fair, it's still a nice sweater. I can wear it. It's just like, it's just not my favorite fit. So I was kind of freaking out a little bit about cost wise, because I want to knit a lot of sweaters. I want to knit a lot of things. And, you know, I was like, man, this is a pricey hobby. So I decided I would try the Lento again, but I was not going to invest a ton of money into it. So I went with some cheaper yarn. So again, the Aloft Mohair from Knit Picks and their palette fingering weight yarn from Knit Picks as well. So I have 5 of both the Mohair and the fingering weight. That's one project that I'm hoping to cast on soon. The other project that I'm probably going to cast on sooner, just because I kind of want to do something that I haven't done before. You know, I've already done the Lento, kind of been there, done that. So honestly, it might actually take me a while to get to the Lento again, to be completely honest. But this other project I'm actually hoping to cast on this weekend, just to have it ready to go for whenever I need a little bit more of a break from the Lanark, or if I finish the Lanark, I'll already have something casted on ready to go. And what is this pattern called? It's the Simper sweater that I'm gonna look up, because I think it's the Knit Purl Girl, but I'm like, am I confusing this with someone else? So it's a Simper sweater by the Knit Purl Girl. So someone, I can't remember who, it might have been Rebecca, but it might have been someone else. I can't remember at this point, but someone was talking about the Simper sweater in their podcast, and I was like, you know, that seems like an easy kind of basic sweater that could be kind of nice. Okay, so my voice is starting to get a little raspy, so I apologize, but the Simper sweater by the Knit Purl Girl, I'm looking at it now. It just looks like kind of a basic kind of crew neck, I think. I could be totally wrong on this. Let me see if I can see a picture of her in it, or someone in it. Yeah, it looks like it's kind of more of a crew neck, like maybe a little bit higher than a crew neck would be. So it just seemed like a fun sweater, kind of basic sweater to do that would kind of give me I was just in that vibe. I was really in that vibe of wanting that type of sweater, or sweater. It's kind of a sweatshirty sweater, a little bit, but like a little bit nicer, obviously. And I have yarn for it. So I bought this yarn when my mom was buying the yarn that I showed you earlier that she made that project bag out of. So I got some knitting for Olive. So there's a, you know, a knitting store. It's not super close to me, but this knitting store, the Nifty Knitter, they carry some knitting for Olive. They didn't have like a huge selection of colors. I would definitely like to see more, but if there's a color that I don't see there, I can always order it from Knitting for Olive. But it was fun to see it in person, and so I decided that I was going to go ahead and get some to make that sweater. So I'm grabbing a couple donuts here. I don't want to try and pick all of them up, but I got the Knitting for Olive Merino in the shade Hazel, or in the colorway Hazel, and then I got their Knitting for Olive Soft Silk Mohair in, again, Hazel. So I'm gonna knit the zipper sweater, and I'm very excited. So this is the one that I'm probably gonna be casting on next. So I'm just really excited to cast that on. But yeah, if you're sensing a theme, I was really, I think after doing the bright blue Lento and then knitting this, I'm like, I just want neutrals. And I want kind of warm tone neutrals. So if you're seeing a theme of like all brown, unfortunately, that's what's happening lately, is like we're moving from blue to all brown. but I have plans to get some very bright summery yarn for some t-shirts. So it won't be all neutrals. But I feel like, yeah, I kind of feel like I go in waves. I'm like, I want color, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I want neutrals, and then no, I want color again. So yeah. Anyways, those are my future plans. It's kind of chaotic because some are like just kind of up here, me thinking about them, and others are like actually have in my stash ready to go. I also have yarn for the half and half wrap from Purl Soho, and I really would like to cast that on also now that the blanket is done. I feel like I have the capacity to cast on that triangle. Is it the half and half triangles wrap? Or is it just the half and half wrap? I can't remember, but the half and half wrap, you guys, I'm sure know what I'm talking about. But I feel like now that I'm not working on a blanket, I feel like I can work on that, and it would be nice to have a project that's kind of a shawl / blankety type thing on the needles. So like that could be nice to cast on soon as well. But then I feel like I might be going too far into projects. So I might need to pace myself a little bit. But I do want to work with what I have, you know, before I buy too much more yarn. But also I definitely need to get on to the spring and summer knitting, get a jump start on it. I feel like I'm actually already behind, so I don't know if a jump start is possible. I need to get caught up, more like. So I'm like, I can't, and like, I can't really make spring and summer knits out of like heavy wool yarn. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna need to do some shopping, but that's okay, right? That's okay, because I do want a wardrobe, right, that's like mostly knitted. Like that's my dream. So yeah, and I have nothing knitted to wear in the summer because I just started making garments like the end of last year. So that's pretty much all I have for knitting things. As far as like a life update goes, I don't know if I have all that much to tell you. I've been getting back into vlogging a little bit. I'm trying to kind of get better at it, get a little bit more confident at it, because I think sharing my knitting in a vlog form would be fun to do and give me things to post when I have gaps between my podcast episodes. I'm trying to think of like other things I can update you guys on, and I just don't know. I don't really know what else there is. I started doing Pilates, not super consistently. I think I've done it like 3 times, but, and just at home, but that's been kind of cool. It's like, I feel like during the workout, it doesn't feel that intense, but then like after, like the next day I'll be a little sore. So like I'm like, oh, that's cool. Like I feel like I didn't put that much effort into it, but I'm still getting workout. I feel like, I don't know, I'm like my life's pretty boring. I've just been knitting. Work has been work. Nothing really new there. And yeah, and I mean, I think that was kind of the only thing, is that like I've been getting a little bit back into writing and just trying to write when I'm inspired, and wanting to vlog more. So I do feel like mentally I was a little like off in the past month or two because I didn't know what direction I wanted to go in with my life, just kind of in general, and didn't really know. I felt like I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to do certain things, and the camera battery is about to die, so I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up just by saying that I'm feeling a lot more like I have a little bit more direction, so that's been good, and I'm excited to kind of just do knitting vlogs, do a lot of knitting, and do these podcast episodes more often. So if you enjoy this type of thing, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and other than that, leave me a comment. Let me know what you're working on. I would love to hear. If you have any suggestions for spring and summer knits that you think I should knit, definitely let me know. Let me know your favorite spring summer yarn. And yeah, other than that, I'm just gonna say, if you enjoy this content, make sure to subscribe before you go. And I hope to see you in my next knitting podcast and in my next vlog. So I hope you're having a fantastic day. Happy knitting, and I'll see you soon. Bye!
Alright, this is a song that I wrote about falling too fast, but I wouldn't know anything about that.
I don't wanna lose my grounding, so you catch me not responding, and I press my lips together so you don't find any answer.